almost going on 4 years ago, I was producing a charity thing at Vitello's in the Valley, and Kathy Siegel-Garcia, I always got to give props to Kathy Siegel-Garcia, said, well, you should call Kiki. She's really wonderful, and you'd love having her in your show. So I did, and Kiki agreed. And I'm telling you, from the minute she walked in the door, I've just been gobsmacked by this woman. She's so cool, so talented, so multifaceted. She lives on a ranch with horses. She teaches horse therapy, and she's one of the most versatile artists I've ever heard. She's got a career of like 25 years with every major artist as a backup vocalist and a keyboard player. And a few years ago, she started doing a tribute to her father, who is the legendary actor Buddy Ebsen. And she's actually going to do a run of it at the Theater West in Hollywood in September. So I think there's cards out. So it was one of the best one-woman shows I've ever seen. You have to know I spend 90% of my life watching one-person shows. It was one of the best one-person shows I've ever seen. And she also she's a singer-songwriter with like 7 or 8 albums to her credit. She's got a very popular show tributing Joni Mitchell called the Joni Mitchell Project. Just an extraordinary talent and a really lovely woman. Please welcome to the stage Kiki Ebsen.
Thank you, Clifford. It's an honor to be here to help you celebrate this wonderful day. Thank you all. I'm so happy to be with all these wonderful artists as well. This great band. So, as Clifford was saying, I am doing a show, a tribute to my father, who, the great actor Buddy Ebsen, who had an incredible career on television, but I kind of knew he was a vaudevillian and a dancer, kind of. But I'm the youngest of 6 girls, and it was kind of a life that I didn't really understand or know much about as I grew up in the 70s. I was more into Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, right? But after he passed away, I started to miss him, and I realized there were regrets about how we connected and disconnected and eventually connected at the end of his life. So I found a box of all of his memorabilia and letters that he had written to his family in the 20s and 30s. And an idea started to buzz around finding the songs from the shows he was in, like Broadway Melody of 1936, Broadway Melody of 1938, Born to Dance, theater productions like Yokel Boy on Broadway. These great standards started to appear, and I made a record called Scarecrow Sessions. And from Scarecrow Sessions morphed this one-woman show, a tribute to my father. He always wanted me to be a jazz singer, and of course I wanted to sound like Ann Wilson from the rock group Heart. You know, had no interest in standards. So I'm going to do a song, and one of the stories I tell in the show is about my dad's involvement with The Wizard of Oz. So you may have heard that story. No? Yes. It's okay, you can say yes. We don't have to do this song. We can just do another one. I didn't know that story growing up. My parents forgot to tell me that my dad was cast as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz for 2 weeks. A little oversight. He got very ill from the makeup, from inhaling aluminum dust for 2 weeks, real aluminum powder. And it coated the inside of his lungs, and like paint, and he couldn't get oxygen into his blood. He collapsed, went in the hospital, almost died. And then had to go back to the studio. He was recast by Jack Haley, and it was a very difficult time for him. But I go into that story and how he sort of redeemed himself and got beyond it. But the song I'm going to do is If I Only Had a Brain. It goes like this. 1, 2, 1.
Conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. In my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching. If I only had a brain. any individual, trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking, I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things that I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nothing, my head all full of stuffing, heart all full of pain. I would dance and be merry, life would be a dignitary if I only had a brain. Oh, well, if I only had a brain. Oh, nothing, just a nothing. My head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. Then perhaps I deserve you and be even worthy of you if I only had a brain. Well, if I only had a brain. Brain.
Kiki Ebsen. Beautiful.